Hi, welcome to Bookie. Today we will unlock the book Beating the Street. This book is an investment amateur's guide to stock investment written by Peter Lynch, which recounts the stock-picking experiences he has acquired over the course of his lifetime. In 1968, he graduated from the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania and later joined the Magellan Fund. In 1977, Lynch became the fund manager of the Magellan Fund. In the following 13 years, the assets of the Magellan Fund increased from US $20 million to US $14 billion, with an average annual compound interest rate of nearly 30%. This amazing achievement made Peter Lynch the most legendary fund manager in American history. This book shares with us Lynch's brilliant experience managing the Magellan Fund. It is not only a memoir of his stock-picking experience, but also a good course in stock-picking that draws from real-life cases. Lynch first tells the story of how he increased the assets of the Magellan Fund from US $2,000 to US $14 billion. Then, he explains in detail 21 classic cases of stock-picking. He also teaches us how to pick stocks in different industries step by step. Finally, Lynch sums up 25 golden rules for stock investing, each of which is straightforward and to the point. After this book was published, it became a bestseller just like Peter Lynch's other book One Up on Wall Street, How to Use What You Already Know to Make Money in the Market. So, what investment strategies does Lynch use? How does he apply various investment methods? What can we learn from these methods? Next, we will review the key points from the book Beating the Street. We will cover these points in the following 3 parts and discover how Peter Lynch makes investment decisions. Part 1. How did Lynch manage the Magellan Fund? Part 2. What are Lynch's unique principles in stock investment? Part 3. What are Lynch's strategies for stock picking in different industries? Let's begin with Part 1. Lynch increased the assets managed by the Magellan Fund from US $20 million to US $14 billion in 13 years. How did he accomplish this? First of all, Lynch was unusually dedicated to his work. Lynch was a true workaholic. Every morning at 6:05 when it was still dark outside, he would leave his home for the office. By 6:45, he arrived at the office and got to work. Loads of files were always piled up on his desk. When people entered his office, they often had no place to sit because every chair was covered in files. Sometimes they would even be forced to take a seat on the floor. Every day, Lynch would read a stack of files reaching 3 feet high. He worked overtime until very late at night. Even on Saturdays, he would stay at the office to finish his work. During one particularly bad period, he had nightmares for 3 consecutive months because he was worried about an economic recession. When Lynch went on vacation, he would take the destination's time zone and accessibility of a phone booth into consideration, and then choose a destination that was convenient for him to contact the company. He liked to go skiing at a ski resort in New Hampshire. When he finished skiing, he could use the phone at the cable car station to call traders, telling them what stocks they should buy and sell. After Lynch hung up the phone, the cable car would arrive just in time. He would then sit on the cable car, devising his next investment plan. Lynch pays great attention to research. He values first-hand information more than anything else and frequently visits listed companies himself. In 1980, he visited 214 companies, and by 1986, he had visited 570 companies. He realized that if things kept going like this, even if he worked on weekends and holidays, he would have to visit 2 companies a day. He believes that conducting extensive research of listed companies is the most important part of investing. If people don't investigate and make a fundamental analysis, their investments will fail, even when they have varied stock software and information service systems at hand. So, what methods did Lynch use for investigations? How did he obtain information about listed companies? In the beginning, he learned about these companies by visiting their headquarters